Unless you live under a rock, you have definitely heard of a pop star called Taylor Swift. Even though she has millions of fans all over the world, she has a fair share of haters as well. So many people go online to say they hate the singer or that they don't understand the hype, as they say. In fact, she is that artist that people are proud to hate and oftentimes praised for doing so. There's absolutely no denying that Swift has very loud haters, but her loyal fans will fight the dragons and shake it all off with her and block out any negative noise. You might be wondering how Taylor Swift became the phenomenon that she is. Why do people, and even the haters, keep listening to her music? Does she put narcotics into her songs? What is, in fact, the appeal? Here's a guidebook from a certified Swiftie. You can call Taylor Swift what you want, but a bad lyricist cannot be one of them. Her ability to take you to a scene, a moment, a situation with her words is simply unmatched. A very short description of a space or a feeling and we are there with her. It really is remarkable the words she chooses and how they paint very clear pictures. An average lyricist might write, "Years pass" or "Seasons change." Taylor Swift once wrote, "From sprinkler splashes to fireplace ashes, you're on your own, kid, from Midnights." Your typical lyricist might write, "He made me blush." Swift once wrote, "Maroon" from Midnights. A regular lyricist might write something like, "I was cold, he gave me his jacket." Swift wrote, "Champagne Problems" from Evermore. An average lyricist might write, "We're meant to be." Taylor Swift once wrote, "And isn't it just so pretty to think all along Invisible String from Folklore." Your mediocre lyricist might write, "I hate that I like him." Taylor Swift once wrote, "I don't like a gold rush, I don't like anticipation." Gold Rush from Evermore. Not only does she set a scene and tell a complete story in her songs, but she manages to use a good amount of clever and antiquated words in the process. In fact, most Swifties make sure to have an English dictionary in hand when listening to new lyrics. We will most definitely need it.
Standing broad-shouldered next to her was a love that was really something, not just the idea of something. When she turned to go home, she heard echoes of new words. May your heart remain breakable, but never by the same hand twice.
She also has the very impressive skill of taking a common phrase and flipping its meaning. I have been a Swiftie since Fearless, 2008, and Taylor Swift had a huge role in my process of learning the English language, my second language. It was in her songs and her lyrics that I would practice my pronunciation and learn my vocabulary. There are 3 different categories of her songs and lyrics based on the writing tool she uses to draft them, figuratively, all determined and confirmed by Taylor Swift herself in a speech for the Nashville Songwriter Award. The 3 categories are quill-style lyrics, fountain pen-style lyrics, and glitter gel pen-style lyrics. Quill-style lyrics would be songs that have words and phrases that are antiquated, most likely inspired by reading one of the Bronte sisters. Lyrics that might sound like a letter written by Emily Dickinson's great-grandmother while sewing a lace curtain.
I was one to know I'd meet you where the spirit meets. catching my breath, staring out an open.
Fountain pen lyrics are lyrics that might feel like a confession of sorts. A poetic twist done with a modern storyline and references. When Swift does what she's most known for, using very commonly used words or sayings and changing their meaning completely. In her speech, she confesses that most of her songs fall into this category.
Say it once again with feeling, awaken all night, I pace like a ghost. Your Midas touch on the Chevy door, November flush and your flannel cure. This storm was once a madhouse. They told me all of my cages were mental, so I got wasted like all my potential.
Glitter gel pen style are lyrics that should not be taken too seriously. Described by Swift as frivolous, carefree, bouncy, syncopated perfectly to the beat. These are songs to which you dance to and sing along with your friends. They are completely non-serious, but extremely fun.
You are somebody that I don't know, but you're taking shots at me like it's Patron, and I'm just like,
I wore a dress, you wore a dark gray t-shirt. Told me I was pretty when I looked like a mess. The day was a fairy tale.
My ex-man brought his new girlfriend. She's like, oh my god, but I'm just gonna shake into the fella over there with the hella good hair. Won't you come on over?
I hate that stupid old pickup truck and never let me drive. You re-read.
There are about 230 other pieces of evidence that fully support the fact that Taylor Swift is a phenomenal writer, but I believe the samples above are more than enough proof. If you have ever asked a Swiftie why they like Taylor Swift or what their favorite thing about her is, you probably got relatability as an answer. It is so hard, especially nowadays, to think about a celebrity or anyone that is extremely wealthy and still be able to relate to them in any way. Taylor Swift is quite literally the biggest artist in the world at the moment, and she is also a billionaire. She is extremely relatable nonetheless. How does that happen? I'm not so sure there is a correct answer or any exact one for that matter. In fact, answers will most likely change from Swiftie to Swiftie. I can tell you why I personally find her relatable, starting with her honesty.
There are going to be people along the way who will try to undercut your success or take credit for your accomplishments or your fame. But if you just focus on the work and you don't let those people sidetrack you, someday when you get where you're going, you'll look around and you will know that it was you and the people who love you who put you there. And that will be the greatest feeling in the world. Thank you for this moment.
Taylor Swift is not afraid to be brutally blunt about everything, so she holds nothing back. She doesn't care that some name-dropping sleazes tell her and the world how much her words are worth. She will describe in detail how someone wronged her, what they did and said. She will hold them accountable and create a clever masterpiece as she does it. She will also call herself out when needed, showcasing her vulnerability and not only disclosing her faults and deepest fears, but displaying them so everyone can see. The way she portraits heartbreak, regret, longing, yearning, innocence, being in love, and any other very commonly shared, very human emotions is unrivaled. She knows how to write about the human experience. Her lyrics are so real and honest that sometimes it feels like it was written for you. The mastermind and her Easter eggs, the Swiftverse, how I like to call it, is perhaps not the main reason people are driven to Taylor Swift, but it is certainly the most entertaining part of being a Swiftie. What is the Swiftverse, you may ask? The best way I can explain it is by comparing it to another very popular universe and fandom, the MCU. If you are a Marvel fan, you know how every film or show within the universe connects to one another. They plan years and years ahead of time for each storyline, so everything connects and is cohesive. The MCU fans will meticulously look for Easter eggs in every project Marvel has and will ever launch, with the hopes of finding clues that will lead to the next thing, whatever that may be. Being a Swiftie is very similar to that. For many years now, Taylor Swift has planned songs, albums, events, and lyrics many years in advance. That way she can strategize her Easter eggs, and when, where, and how far ahead they will be used or revealed is all carefully plotted out. These are secret messages to her fans in lyrics, music cues, videos, social media, interviews, speeches, event appearances, etc. These messages started out with the lyric booklets for her albums.
And then all I started thinking of was, how do I hint at things? Like, how far is too far in advance? Can I hint at something 3 years in advance? Can I even plan things out that far? I think I'm gonna try to do it.
There were always encoded messages that would reveal a lead that connected to who that song might be about.
So, for example, I did a magazine interview where I mentioned Brendan Urie. I mentioned his band Panic at the Disco, you know, months before anyone would then find out that I had done a song with him.
Or a hint to something very personal and possibly not yet addressed by her.
So a lot of the time I'll pick something that I think symbolizes something else. Like I'll pick a snake as sort of the mascot for, you know, feeling misunderstood, or, you know, being somebody that is not going to strike unless they're stepped on.
It was a way to communicate with her fans. From lyric booklets, it moved on to literally everything that she ever does. From an outfit she may wear, or a hand gesture she makes, or a word she says in an interview or a speech. It is all connected and very much intentional. If I were to cite every Easter egg she has ever planted, this would take a feature film and not a feature article. Besides, I would most likely not be able to mention all of them, since I am sure us Swifties have missed many of those eggs. We have played clown countless times, misreading the signals and clues, since she is at least 10 steps ahead of us. One of the most recent times we clowned was at the announcement of her 11th studio album, The Tortured Poets Department. We all knew she was going to announce an album release during a speech at the Grammys 2024, and many of us, including myself, believed it was going to be Reputation, Taylor's version. For context, Taylor's version means a re-release of an old album, and Taylor's version is an indication that she owns that album or song, but that is a topic for another time. Swift ended up announcing her 11th studio album instead.
Which is that my brand new album, it's called The Tortured Poets Department.
We noticed she had brought Lana Del Rey as her date to the event. Taylor wore white and Lana wore black. Taylor Swift won Best Pop Vocal Album, her 13th Grammy, which is her favorite and lucky number, and she had an announcement to make during her speech. When talking about TTPD, the Tortured Poets Department, Taylor said she wanted to tell us a secret she had been keeping from us for 2 years. When saying 2 years, she emphasized the number by creating a longer pause and putting 2 fingers up, hand gesture that indicates the number 2. We knew that small hand gesture meant something. Theories started formulating and spreading over the internet about a possible double release. Most of us believed that the potential second release would be Reputation, Taylor's version, since the official color for Reputation, Taylor's version, is black, and Lana wore black and Taylor wore white, and that was not a color yet associated with any of her past albums before TTPD. But we were wrong again. It ended up being a double release, but the second release was not the re-release of her 7th studio album, but a double album release, The Tortured Poets Department, the anthology with 15 extra songs. Even though we might be the foolish ones and not be right sometimes, and we misinterpret a lot of the Easter eggs we are fed, the egg hunting and decoding is exceptionally fun. As a matter of fact, we are all used to the white, blue, and red makeup at this point, and we wear the clown look well and proud.
The fans are the best part of this tour. They're the reason the shows are incredible, and I know those fans out there are just all in.
Taylor Swift has been very loving and generous towards her fans from the very beginning. She would always make sure to be very present for her fans, taking pictures, responding to fan mail, sending personalized gifts and donations. As she transitioned into pop music, her stardom skyrocketed, and she became even more globally famous, making it much harder to attend to all of her fans. And yet, she would make sure to reach out and be as approachable as she could. Taylor Nation is an extension of her management team, 13 Management, and their main focus is social media marketing and fan engagement. Taylor and her team will keep an eye on most Swifties that are active online for years and years. It is not as often as it used to be due to the phenomenon that she's become, but Swift would always host secret events and invite her most dedicated fans. Oftentimes, she'll comment or like her fans' TikToks, pop up in the comments when her fans are live streaming videos on Instagram, retweet them on X, or even, out of the blue, send special packages and personalized handwritten letters to their homes at a special occasion or to help heal their broken hearts following a hard breakup after having followed their online journey for years. She has even shown up to some fans' engagement parties and weddings. In every tour she's done, there is a booth where she hosts surprise meet and greets after each show. She has never charged a single fan for a meet and greet, but how does that work and how are people chosen? Taylor Nation keeps tabs on extremely engaged and dedicated online fans and selects some of them to meet Taylor. Also, one of Swift's managers, her mother, Andrea Swift, will famously go around the concert venue or stadium during the show and handpick passionate fans to go to the booth for the meet and greet. Taylor famously hosted listening parties at her own house for every album released before the 2020 pandemic. She named those the secret sessions. To get an invitation required being active online or via fan mail. Taylor Nation or Taylor herself had to notice you. One may think that is a long shot, but in reality, it is not. In fact, I have met at least a handful of people that have been noticed by Swift and her team. I am still waiting for my moment to come when I get to tell her how deeply she has impacted my life and that I was enchanted to meet her. We have loved her to the moon and to Saturn, and she has loved us right back.
I've realized that it's not about being perfect. It's not about feeling perfect. I think that sometimes it's just about getting on with things, and after a while, you look around and you realize that you're happy today. And that's all that matters. And I just want you to know that one thing I have learned in 25 years, and I'm still learning, is that if you get rained on, you walk through a bunch of storms, life is constantly coming at you, that doesn't make you damaged. It makes you clean.
To conclude, Taylor Swift has proven herself time and time again to be one of the most important people in the music industry and one of the most influential people worldwide. So I guess the answer should be, everyone is afraid of little old Taylor Allison Swift. After all, it is very hard, as society, to witness a woman hold such power. Going back to her appeal, the Taylor Swift lore might not be for everybody. Her music might not be for everybody. Her personality and brand might not be for everybody. Perhaps this feature hasn't changed your mind on how you feel about her. I hope, however, this article has helped you understand why she is so loved by her fans. If this feature has made you curious, or perchance this has converted you into a Swiftie, welcome. Come all have the time of your life with us. Long live the pop queen.